In our last video, I complained a little bit about CRUD apps that are created by LLMs, but here's an example of an app. It's a little bit more than a CRUD app. It's in fact an entire environment called Dataset, and it's partly written by an LLM. It's partly written by, it was originally written by a person, but then he made modifications to it using an LLM. So I'd like to tell you about it as an example of a really great database app, and it's particularly a SQLite app. So there are lots of applications that use SQLite. There are over 1 trillion in existence, and I just want to show you one called Dataset. And I picked this one carefully for several reasons. One is you can become exhausted looking at all the apps that there are, so you only need to look at one really good one as an example. And this is one that you can probably use both in your work and your personal life. It uses SQLite 3 at the terminal, which you've been learning, and not all SQLite apps, in fact most apps, but by far the most of that 1 trillion apps, hide SQLite. So what is Dataset? So Dataset was written by a person named Simon Willison, a prolific blogger who's been a software engineer for about 25 years. But he wanted to create something that anyone could use without software engineering experience. And he was working as a data journalist at The Guardian, which is a news outlet that has to publish a lot of data. So he created this initially for data journalists. And it's an ecosystem of tools for working with what he calls small data. And his definition of small data is data that can fit on a smartphone. And his particular smartphone, I think he said, can accommodate 0.5 terabyte. So my smartphone can accommodate, I think, 1 terabyte. And it's easy to get a smartphone that contains 2 terabytes. So that's a lot of data to be called small, but that's his definition of it, basically not distributed data, single user kind of data. Now, the way to learn about Dataset is actually to watch this video. And don't go off on any side trips to understand the many references. Just watch this straight through, and then look at the blog post at this address where he provides a transcript of the video along with links and code samples. So I want you to do that. So go to the slides version of this lecture and just click on these links, or you can type in all of this gobbledygook. And keep in mind that video was made 6 years ago during COVID, and so a lot has changed since then. And luckily, Simon Willison often blogs about the changes in Dataset at simonwillison.net. So there are a lot of updates that are worth checking into. Some additional notes are you can easily use Dataset in your final project. And keep in mind that I won't necessarily know how you develop your schema, although it would make sense to document that for your future self. And you can present your schema to me by using the SQLite.schema command after you've developed it, of course, and the Dataset can help you develop it. And if your database contains georeference data, you can use Dataset to create visual cluster maps of that data, which you can include in your PDF. And there's a lot more that you can do if you explore Dataset. If you have any interest in archives, for example, you should explore Dataset. Dataset is a great way to present archival material. One additional note is that Simon Willison is famous for, among other things, testing LLMs by asking them to draw a picture of a pelican riding a bicycle with very interesting results. And this has become a meme on the web, pelican riding on a bicycle, because of his use of it as a benchmark. Okay, so that's all I want to say. So now go to the slideshow version and check out this video. It's like 20 minutes long, and really watch it all the way through, and then go to the blog post and follow some of the links. And I'm sure you'll be well repaid for your efforts. Okay, thanks for watching, and I have another application to talk about in the next video.